what's up? I'm Annabelle Hasselbeck here with Natalie Nori, and we are here at the NOBULL headquarters for the Meet Boston Influencer event. We are so excited to be joined by Kelly Whitaker Cummings. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
So incredible. We are so excited to talk about your NOBULL journey, but also your fitness journey and just the running coaching that you do. Would love to start with just how did you get involved with NOBULL?
So I actually got involved with NOBULL when I wore their running shoes for the very first time. I was one of their original testers for their running shoes a million years ago, and I fell in love immediately. And ever since then, I've just been such a fan of the community they built here in Boston. Their gear is amazing. I'm just obsessed.
How did that initial, I guess, like contact, for lack of better terms, come about? When NOBULL, did they reach out to you? Did you seek them out? How did that partnership kind of begin?
God, that was so long ago.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of a mutual thing. I teach fitness classes in Boston, so I think some of the NOBULL girls were taking my class, and I think I had conversationally just said I was in the market for new running shoes, and then the rest is history.
Amazing.
It's always cool when you're in the market for new running shoes and they become something you become absolutely obsessed with. I know that's happened many times throughout my life. NOBULL champions no excuses and high-level performance. When you hear the word wellness, what does that mean to you?
So I think wellness is just so all-encompassing. As someone who's been in the running and fitness space for a while, I know there's so many unhealthy aspects of it. Putting, like the hustler grind all the time mentality, it's just not sustainable. That was me for a very long time. And I think the older I get and the more experience I get in the fitness space, wellness is just so much of everything, right? Like prioritizing you, not only your fitness, but your health, your mindset, your mentality. So I think just prioritizing self-care and making sure you're very well-rounded in that wellness space is important. It's not just about like running fast and lifting really heavy.
Now, when you talk about just any kind of physical activity, there's a physical side, but there's also the mental side, and pushing that endurance and finding your limits and exceeding those. I guess, what does that mean to you in your line of work, and how do you feel NOBULL kind of helps you do that?
So I feel like NOBULL really supports, not only the high performance aspect of everything, but also, as you can see, like they're having this amazing event tonight, they really prioritize community as well. Every event that I've been to with NOBULL, it just brings out the best kind of people. Sure, we're all in the same like wellness, fitness space, but it's really people that are trying to like be friends with each other and support each other. And I do think having a community like that here in Boston is super important. Just, it's very easy to feel like you're on your own little island when you're in the fitness space. And it can be kind of an unhealthy relationship, but knowing you have a lot of people that are like-minded with you NOBULL really fosters that kind of community.
I felt that community the moment we walked in here. Natalie and I walked in together and people smiling, saying hi. I'm like, ooh, I feel like the oddball out in a way. Like it really does feel like if you prioritize it, right, and be intentional with those relationships, something really special to be a part of. I'd love to know just how you started your running journey, because you've run 47 marathons and 2 ultra marathons. When did that begin for you?
So I was not a serious athlete in high school. So that's kind of where the journey was. I would just go out and do like a loop of my neighborhood running because I was like, I want to just get out of my house, to be honest. My journey with distance running started in college. It was just something to break up the days. And I'm getting old now, but my first marathon was when I was a senior in college. No real training. I was just going out every day and running until I felt tired. I didn't follow any sort of training plan, but the feeling of being involved in such an amazing event and knowing that my body could do something that I never thought was possible was just like intoxicating for me. So ran my first marathon in 2008 and then really got hooked right away. I was running like 4 a year for a while.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely not doing that anymore. I've like actually transitioned into my trail.
That's how we got to the 47 number.
Got to the 47. And then I started my trail journey just because I'm not as fast as I used to be. Trail running is just like a totally different experience. It's not being in crowds of people and you don't have a million spectators, but I love running so much that it's also like a good change up for me to be kind of alone with my thoughts. I like both sides of it though.
That's really interesting. So I've noticed a lot of people will either start trail running and go to like road marathons or road running or vice versa. What did you feel like you like better? I feel like that's probably like picking your favorite child kind of thing. But like, what's the difference in those two types of running, and why do you like them?
So road racing is just more of like an event. It's a scene. Like there's spectators everywhere. You're running alongside like tens of thousands of other people. You know, they have like major athletic brands sponsoring these events. And especially in the last, I'd say 5 years post-COVID, like road racing has really taken off. Everybody's training for a marathon, which I love, but I also was craving something a little bit different. Training for 47 marathons gets to be a little bit of the same thing. Trail running actually ties in with my journey with NOBULL because of NOBULL, I got a little bit more into the strength training aspect of it. And trail running's so different. It's not just, I mean, obviously strength training is important for road racing too, but with trail running, like it's essentially a very fast hike. You're like doing a lot of like technical stuff, and like I started lifting heavier, and it was just a totally different training journey. And I feel like my body kind of needed something different. And I think I have an addictive personality when it comes to running. So I immediately got addicted to trail running too.
That's awesome.
And it's easier said than done, right? Like there's so much that goes into training for these many marathons that you have done yourself and that you're coaching for people. And with these, many marathons that everyone seems to be doing nowadays, what is maybe something in that training process that you feel the normal runner isn't doing that they really need to be doing to improve their race?
Strength training, period.
Love that.
That is like missing in so many, that is it. I feel like there is this misconception that if you're not running like 70 or 100-mile training weeks, that you're not doing it right. And one of the biggest things that I had to tell myself, and now I pass along to my clients, is, running less and making sure your miles are like very quality miles. Like you don't need to do all your training runs at your goal race pace. You're gonna get injured, you're gonna get burned out. And a lot of runners are just neglecting their strength training. They'll forego their strength training for like another run during the week. And that's really been a process with my clients, like trying to hammer home to them that they need to include weight training if they want to make this a lifetime thing.
No, this is something, as you're speaking, I'm thinking about this. We just talked about this a few minutes ago, and I said I don't feel like I was built for running. I don't feel like I had the kind of frame. When people come to you and seek your help and say, hey, I want to run my first marathon, how would you advise me to start training with the strength training in mind, with the mileage in mind? What would you tell a beginner or someone who doesn't believe in themselves that they can do this?
Well, you are a runner because you also told me you ran 2 5Ks, so you are a runner.
45 away from you now.
You're getting there. I think the biggest thing is like setting little goals for people, like so that they have little benchmarks to hit along the way. Like especially for someone that has never run more than 1 mile, or maybe even is like going from couch to marathon, which I see a lot. I think it's very intimidating to say like, okay, 26.2, yes, that's the end goal, but it's super important to like celebrate little things along the way. Like I'll usually have my runners sign up for a 5K, like built into the training. So they'll sign up for a 5K and then we'll like train for a half and then, ramp it up for the marathon too, because I do think it gets really frustrating when you don't have like little benchmarks along the way in the training.
Yeah.
So I think it's super important to like set those little goals and then work toward the big goal too.
In your own racing, what is a competition or a race that you feel like, man, that was the toughest one that I have ever done?
Oh man, there have been so many terribly brutal races. I think I'm gonna pick 2.
Okay.
So I have a blog that I've been trying to update more frequently, but this is the Chicago Marathon Race Week. Chicago is happening on Sunday. And I've run Chicago 5 times. Chicago is actually my PR race. In 2016, I set a huge lofty goal to break 3 hours in the marathon, and I did it. I ran 2:58:08, which is my still standing PR.
Wow.
I got really cocky with it, and I thought, like I shaved all this time off my marathon, I'm just gonna keep PRing.
Yeah.
Learned the hard way that progress is definitely not linear. I went back the next year and tried to PR and absolutely like had the implosion of the century. I was pretty much like hobbling with like bloody feet, like the last 10K. It was so brutal. I was beating myself up mentally. And I think that was really where the shift happened for me that, like, while it's really awesome to set these big goals, like it's also really important to take pride in like the huge accomplishment that you're doing no matter what the time on the clock says. So after that race, it was absolutely horrendous. I like cried into my deep dish pizza after. And then I was like, you know what? I think it's time to like readjust and just do these for fun. Like trying to do the most all the time is not fun. It's not good mentally. It's taking the joy out of running. So that was a very pivotal race for me.
Sometimes you kind of need those moments to, I don't want to say like humble you, but to remind yourself like it's not a race against you. It's something to appreciate within yourself, that your legs, your body can take you from A to B. I love hiking. I hike the White Mountains quite a bit, and I see quite a few trail runners up there. And I always think when you start at the bottom, you get to the top. That's the best part, of course. And you're like, wow, my legs took me here. I just think it's the coolest moment. But I always think about the trail runners, and I think, how the heck are they able to do this? Because I'm in pain. It's a mental race. But what has been your favorite memory from the trail running that you've done? And do you have a favorite like course that you've done? I'm really interested in that part.
So my 2 trail races have been the same course. I did the Catamount 50K in Vermont. So steep. It's like a 2-lap course, like up and down a legit ski slope in Vermont. I think my 2 favorite parts of it were the aid stations are incredible. It's literally like a buffet. They have like Nerds gummy clusters, like it's delicious.
Yeah.
They have like chips, full sandwiches. I was like, oh, this is amazing. I think the best part for me about trail running is, especially the first loop, I was with a lot of people and I had never done one of these before. Like they all have their like sticks that they use to help them. I was just going into it like just me.
Yeah.
No headphones, nothing.
That is bold. No headphones.
I know. I was like, I'm really gonna like embrace me and nature right now. I think the first loop up, I was just busy like trying to copy what everybody else was doing. Like, are they walking this incline? Are they running? Like the second loop, I really found myself in a pocket of like nobody. There was nobody around me. And it was just like so incredible to be out there alone. And when I signed up for these, I was having kind of like an identity crisis with running. I wasn't feeling as fast as I used to be. I was like, do I even love road racing anymore? And I just had this moment when I was like, this is what I was like put on this earth to do. Like people that don't like running are not gonna run by themselves for 32 miles in the woods with like nothing in their ears. And it was like, it gave me like a new sense of purpose. And I felt like, oh my God, this is really like something I love doing.
Wow.
It was really cool.
What a cool story. Well, Kelly, we are so excited to point people to you and to seek you as a resource as well, especially because you've made your rounds around the marathons and for all those marathon runners. But seriously, thank you so much. And we're excited to see your noble journey, and good luck with the workout today as well.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies.
We're so excited to welcome on Gabby D'Agostino, Director of Public Relations here at NOBULL. You are fitted out today as well. So how excited are you to host this Meet Boston Influencer event?
So excited. We love having people in HQ. I feel like we don't get to do it as often as we should. So we love having you here.
What's your favorite part of this HQ building?
I think just how collective everything is. We don't, work in little silos. We have a gym in the middle of the design area. We have shoes on display everywhere. We're all mingling and mixed together, and it's all an open space, which is the best part, just to collaborate and work together.
It's a very cool thing, and I think, it actually took me a second to realize the headquarters was here in Boston. So that was, of course, very exciting to begin with, maybe to draw more people in.
Yeah.
But if you could just kind of tell us a little bit about your role here, your job, and what you do from the day to day.
Yeah, I started at NOBULL 6.5 years ago, which is crazy. And I've always been in some sort of public-facing, community-based role. I started as a community manager, so even to this day, I love seeing events like this where we just get to bring the community together. I think my first job when I started was to find local influencers and trainers in Boston and just teach them about NOBULL. And so we're still doing that today, which is great. And so now my role's evolved. I work across partnerships, public relations, influencer, and just generally in the brand marketing team, helping to build brand awareness for NOBULL and make sure that when people are learning about us, they're having a positive experience.
Well, it's been a positive experience so far for both of us.
glad.
We're in the swag. I love it. Just from your perspective, what separates NOBULL from maybe other fitness and lifestyle brands?
Yeah, I think one thing we talk about a lot is just like the shirts you're wearing. Like we have a brand name that means a lot to people, and I think it's very, very strong, and people proudly wear it across their chest in a really big way. And so there's so many brands in the footwear space specifically that everybody has lots of choices every day, and when they choose NOBULL, we find it really means something, and I think that there's a connection to our brand that's really powerful, and we like to say that we're small but mighty and growing every day, and so we notice that whenever people are choosing NOBULL, they're really in it in a more emotional way than they might be with another brand that they just find in a store. So we want to cultivate more of that, and it's really exciting to see.
It's interesting that much of your job is to, get people to choose NOBULL, but from your side, what led you to NOBULL, and what kind of sold you that you wanted to work here not only for the first time, but 6.5 years later?
Yeah, what's funny is I had always been in agency roles, marketing, PR, all the things, and was always had a side interest in fitness and had been a trainer for a little bit and actually taught with some of the people who are taking class right now, which is fun. And so a friend of mine who used to be a Barry's instructor was modeling for NOBULL and had been tagging the brand, and I had never heard of the brand. But the more research I did, I loved that it was a challenger brand, it was a small brand, and when I met people at NOBULL, they all really deeply cared. And to this day, like, I have friends and family who joke with me that they're like, people who work at NOBULL care so much, more than anybody cares about any other job. And I think that's really special and unique, and it's still happening today even as we're growing. So it's that energy of people really wanting it to grow and do well. And it's, we don't just show up to do a job, we show up to build something together.
It's so fun probably too for you to just come to a work environment and a team culture that facilitates that.
Yeah. I joke with people, if they want a job where they know exactly what's happening every day, they show up and then they leave and never think about it again, it's probably not the place for you. But the flip side of that is that it's such a unique culture where we really can see the impact of everything that we're doing, and everyone is so motivated to help make the next big thing.
You mentioned the culture. What's something that people might not know about the culture here that you'd like to share with them?
Yeah, I think it's pretty unique that we have a gym in the middle of our office, and any given day we'll be in meetings and you just hear music blasting and people throwing weights around, and that, there might be some other places that say that they encourage that but might not actually walk the walk, and we really do, which is really fun. And we all love to just move together and be together, and we're all definitely participating in testing product. It doesn't matter what role you have. So it's really, really collective and collaborative, and we really live and breathe fitness and wellness too.
It's probably fun too to test the product. Yes. What's your favorite product right now of NOBULL?
Yes, the shoes that a lot of us are wearing are the All Day Knit. I love these. They've been around since I've been at the brand. They're a tried and true OG shoe. It's in the name. They're your all day, everyday shoe. They're so comfortable to slip on. It's the no-brainer shoe. You can do pretty much anything in it, but it also looks stylish and cute. So all the girls are usually wearing it in the office with their NOBULL outfits, but I love this shoe. We'll always love it.
They're very comfortable.
Yeah.
We'll say that first and foremost right here.
Yeah.
No, it's great to hear your journey and your ascension through the company as well. If there were other women or young women looking to kind of make an impact in the fitness industry, kind of like you did, what would you tell them, and how might you advise them that this might be a good place to start?
Yeah, I always say that I think a lot of people focus so much on what's on their resume, and I like to think about what's off of it. A lot of the reason I think I got a job at NOBULL was because of my outside work experience, just going to community events like this and meeting people in the fitness industry specifically. It's so unique in Boston too, that everybody really gets along with each other. It doesn't matter what gym you go to, what type of training you do. Everyone really likes to just spend time together. So the more that you can get outside of your office space or what you're doing for work and just move and meet people and go to different gyms and try different, styles of workouts, you never know who from different brands you'll meet. And I think it's a great way to build relationships that are outside of your day-to-day work.
Natalie and I tonight get to sit down with a lot of the influencers who you have brought here. When you're looking at someone who you want to represent your brand, what are you specifically looking for?
A genuine love for the brand. I think that, again, there's so much choice, and we want people to really have an authentic connection. So one thing I tell my team all the time is to just give shoes away. We always say get shoes on feet and then see what happens. Sometimes that's how we find our best relationships, is we just gift people product, no expectation, and then we see who's actually wearing the product naturally and loving it and talking about it. And that's how we can form our best partnerships, is with people who genuinely love the brand. We're
so excited to welcome on Steph Morellis to the Meet Boston NOBULL Influencer event. Steph, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
We're so excited to talk about your medical career, your CrossFit career, but let's just start with, how did you first get involved with NOBULL?
It happened really organically, actually. I'm really fortunate. I got approached by the brand. They said, it seems like, we've been following you for years. It seems like you exemplify a lot of things that we like as a brand, so we'd love to work with you. And as I started to learn more about what NOBULL's mantra is and how they work, it just seemed like a really great fit.
Now that mantra, they champion no excuses, high performance living. How do you feel that kind of spoke to you when this brand approached you?
Yeah, I believe strongly in pushing yourself in every aspect of your life. Anything that you choose to pursue, I believe in going for it and giving it your all. And I think that's really the NOBULL mentality. It's like, don't leave anything on the table. Give everything that you have to something so you can be the best version of yourself.
Steph, CrossFit is not a very easy thing to do. We'll put it that way. It is a very impressive workout. When did your CrossFit journey first start?
I started back in 2013. I was kind of transitioning from like a gymnastics career to adulthood. What's next? Gymnastics wasn't it for me, and so I needed a new sport. And CrossFit immediately ticked all the boxes of like something hard. I needed something to work for. It was completely new, so it also gave me something that I could learn and get better at kind of throughout my adult life, and that was huge.
What was the highest level of gymnastics that you completed, I guess? Did you go to college and play or perform? I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah. So I competed, the highest level I competed was level 8. I was training levels 9 and 10, and I was unfortunately injured a lot in my high school years. So I went to college and chose to do club because I could compete all 4 events. It was a little bit less stressful. And at that time I was also pre-med, so I had a lot on my plate. And club was the perfect balance.
Wow. Can you just speak to how you balanced going to school, being a fierce competitor at the same time, but also having that just balance of life?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just don't know any other way. I'd love to say how I know, but I think I keep myself really busy. What drives me is the pursuit of being really great and figuring out what I can achieve when a lot of things are in front of me. That kind of is my motivation. So I love to have my hands in multiple different areas. That it keeps the variety. I think it keeps me driven in all aspects rather than kind of putting absolutely everything into just one.
I can tell just from your career, your athletic career, you like to do something to the highest level that you can. I mean, you're definitely a competitor through and through. What does your training regimen look like these days, balancing your career and what you love to do on the side?
So much different. So much different. It was a big transition. When I went back to PA school, I knew that my CrossFit career was going to look very different. I was able to train competitively for 2 years in PA school and competed at semifinals in my final year, but going forward, I knew that it was going to be very different. So I've prioritized my career, and fitness for me now is just trying to keep myself healthy and give myself a break and try not to, get too deep into one thing and keep it light and keep myself fit.
I think what's so cool just about hearing your journey is it's not just your CrossFit journey, but you're also the founder of CrossFit Attain. So do you mind just describing what that story was like?
Yeah, I'm fortunate to have a husband who knows how to run a business, has run multiple gyms for other people, and this was the kind of the natural evolution for us. We were coaches and managers at other gyms all throughout the world. We were very fortunate to travel and do that, and so when we settled back in the US, we wanted something that was all our own. We took all of the different aspects of where we'd been, all of our favorite pieces, and brought it into CrossFit Attain, and so we've been really lucky to build that from the ground up.
That's incredible. Now, I feel like a lot of people, especially mid-20s, we were talking about running marathons a few minutes ago, strength training, CrossFit. So CrossFit's one area that I have never tapped into. If you were to kind of give like an elevator pitch or a sales pitch as to why people should be doing CrossFit, what would it be? Yeah,
usually I tell people that it's fast, so it's for people who don't have hours to spend at the gym. It's something, it gets you in and out of the gym in 60 minutes. The community aspect is, I think, unrivaled. You work out with your friends, you want to go, it keeps you learning, it's new every single day. And I think it just keeps things really interesting, and it's infinitely scalable. So whether you're new, whether you've been doing it for 10 years, whether you have an injury, we can always modify it, which I think is one of the amazing things.
Something I've always admired from CrossFitters is the CrossFit chin-up or kip-up. How do you say it? What's the exact move?
A kipping pull-up.
A kipping pull-up.
Yeah.
Give me one piece of advice if I wanted to go out today at the gym over here at the NOBULL headquarters and go try that?
Yeah, learn the technique.
Okay.
As a gymnast, I definitely err on the side of technique first. I think it's so important, especially I think how you move is everything. Prevents injury and helps you moving into the future. And so I find that when we teach people how to kip efficiently and use the gymnastics positions, all of a sudden they go from having no pull-ups to the best pull-up of their life.
Wow, it's gonna be me in a few minutes.
It is, yeah. We'll work on it.
I'm really interested in the Murph Challenge, actually. I've seen quite a few people do that. It's a CrossFit thing, right?
It is. Yeah.
And do you participate in the Murph Challenge?
I do. The Murph Challenge is a very cool tribute to Navy SEAL Michael Murphy. It's always on Memorial Day. The whole CrossFit community across the world, mostly in the US, but also it's kind of spread across the world.
Yeah.
It's a very tough workout. It's always the same. It's a great opportunity to like pay tribute to his life and the service of our members, service members.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I do want to say congratulations because you just recently announced that you are expecting, you and your husband are expecting.
We are.
For the women out there who are competitors and love to do fitness and work out, how do you and what advice would you give them to handle that through this pregnancy journey?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm figuring it out on the fly as well. This is my first pregnancy. I'm still, I'm just in the end of my first trimester, so I'm still figuring out myself. The biggest advice that I gave to myself was be kind to yourself. It's a whole new phase of life. It's very hard, I think, for me to go from being competitive to then kind of a regular athlete and now to someone who needs to modify a lot of things, especially in the months coming up. But I think understanding that it's just a phase of life and it's something beautiful that our bodies change and go through. I'm really excited to see what that brings, and I hope I'm able to work out throughout my whole pregnancy.
I feel like there's a lot of maybe compromising with yourself when you are like learning to modify, or like you try to push yourself, realize maybe you're not there yet, so you have to modify. When it comes down to that, like mental endurance, understanding how your body moves mentally as well, you know, how important do you think it is to match up your mindset with your body?
So important, so important. As a competitor, it's so hard to do. Obviously, you go from your brain, you know, stays at the fittest part of you, you know, and then things change in your life. So I think you have to adjust and modify and be honest with yourself, because the whole point of fitness, right, whether it's CrossFit or anything, is longevity, right? We just want to be fit for life. We want to go forward and be fit individuals and just live longer, healthier lives. And I think the way that you do that is by having a reality check and say, like, my brain wants to do this today, but really my body is telling me I need to do something else. Mm-hmm. And I think acknowledging that and being in tune with yourself is just another way to hone your fitness.
It's so cool to hear. Just, I feel like I'm being coached on fitness and just perspective as well. And I'm so excited for you to go through this new journey just with, you know, your child and to help the future moms and the moms already be able to still be that fierce competitor and do things like CrossFit now that you'll have your own personal experience. But before we wrap up here, we all are dripped out in our NOBULL outfits. I have to ask you, what is your favorite piece of NOBULL gear that you've ever had? Oh God, please don't make me choose.
Good thing.
Good answer. That was yes. You answered correctly.
So make me choose. It depends on the season, but I will say probably my most worn is the Impact, the NOBULL Impact. I train in those day in, day out. They've come with me across the world to competitions through every single version. So that's definitely a core shoe.
I love it. Well, we're going to have to check it out. But seriously, Steph, thanks so much for sitting down for us. We're so excited for this next chapter in your life, and enjoy the NOBULL event.
Thank you. Lovely to chat with you.
We are so excited to welcome on Jenny Johnson to NESN's coverage of the Meet Boston NOBULL Influencer event. Jenny, thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Oh, it's so nice to be with you girls.
Well, you just told us that you just did the workout, but you look like you just hit the runway. So I would love to know.
I'll take that compliment because it was a hot workout, I'll tell you that much, especially on like a 90-degree day like it has been today, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, can you walk us through what the workout
Yeah,
was?
so Mike and Alyssa, husband and wife, which I love because I loved getting them together and seeing both the husband and wife aspect in addition to just these amazing fitness duo that they are in the city. So they're one of our hubsters that's on our program, Meet Boston. So we've known them for a bunch of years. And they just put us through, like, it's funny, everyone after the workout was like, oh, I wasn't expecting it to be that intense. I mean, they're awesome. They are just on, I think, their third of 6 marathons in 6 months.
Whoa.
I'm like, bananas. Like, it's just, it's like unfathomable to me. I'm like,
We're
are
working
you
on the
okay?
first one.
Yeah, aren't we all? But are you really working on it?
Oh, planning to.
Okay.
After this, sit down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Here's
good.
the D1 after.
There you go. Aw, that's awesome. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? Your life is so busy. It's hard to keep up with everything that you do. Do you have a lot of time for fitness and wellness in your life?
I mean, I would say wellness is like paramount for me. Like, it has to exist in some form every single day, and it always has. And luckily, my husband is the same way. So we're able to sort of make sure that we give each other windows so that someone can be with the kids and we can, sort of do it. But I always fit it in. And when I don't, I feel it in the brain.
I'd love to know more about that because, like you said, you're producer, on air, mom, entrepreneur, all the things. But what are some of your non-negotiables maybe throughout your life for that wellness part?
When I think about wellness, it to me actually means alignment. Like, it means the hope of being balanced. And so it doesn't always necessarily mean a workout as intense as the one that we just did. It may mean, walking for an hour with a friend. It may mean walking an hour by myself. It may mean a Pilates class. It may mean breath work. It may mean yoga. I mean, really what it is making sure that there's dedicated time to being focused on something that's outside the chaos of life, I think. But it itself is a non-negotiable for me. So I will always make sure that it's a part of the schedule, even when the schedule is so tight.
You do live a very fast-paced, busy life, obviously. You're a mother, which is incredible. But I think, with the line of work that you're in and we have a taste of as well, I mean, what is your favorite type of physical activity or mental activity? How do you like to keep yourself grounded among all of that?
So I am like the exercise modalities that I use are Pilates, yoga. I do a Barry's boot camp with Mike often, who is one of the instructors that just did this class with us. As something that's a little more intense and aggressive, and I walk. So those are like the things that I do most often. And I think for me, it's about making sure that I give myself an escape from my brain. And that's to me really what fitness is. I mean, I will say my husband is a really good rock climber. He spent like many, many years rock climbing. And so when we first started dating, he would take me rock climbing. It was not something I was used to, but I was obsessed with it because when you're doing something like rock climbing, it's impossible to think of anything other than what you are doing in that moment.
Like golf or something.
Yes, actually I had no idea because have never golfed other than a few times that we've had to do it on the show. But to me, that I think is what's so important. Less about like, how much exertion do I get? How many calories did I burn? Like, that's not my focus. It's like, how could I have a reprieve from like the busyness that is my mind? So.
I love that you mentioned the rock climbing because this is actually my first time in the NOBULL headquarters, and I believe I saw a rock climbing wall around the corner, which is so cool. But just being in this building and hanging out with these influencers tonight, what has stuck out to you just about the NOBULL brand?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this is not my first time having a piece of NOBULL, but it's my first time having head to toe.
Okay.
And this is from my own closet. But I will say, I was saying to all the hubsters when we were in there with the group of influencers, their leggings are amazing. Did you get their leggings yet?
The joggers.
Okay, so the joggers. So okay, I don't know what you guys feel about leggings of different brands. I find that they're either so constricting, and I've had 2 babies, so like that's just not ideal. Some moms think it's ideal. For me, I don't want to be like sucked. Like I just does not feel pleasurable for me. But I also don't necessarily, if I'm not wearing sweatpants, if I'm wearing leggings, I want them to feel like a legging.
Yeah.
And these are like the perfect combo of like, get you in, but feel soft. I don't know. I'm very excited with this combo. Shoes are awesome. They feel like air. Like you're wearing the same ones. I mean, they're
Yes.
just like
the purple. Love that.
so nice. So I'm liking the merch.
I love it.
Now, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this.
Oh, okay. I think I know where you're going. Okay. Yes. Okay. So.
So you train as this.
I will.
I had the
Tell us
same
more
question
about
Natalie
that.
was
There
reading
you
my
go.
mouth.
I love that. Okay, so I will want you to know it because I think it's worth looking up and it's worth everybody looking up that's watching or listening. So it's called Ayurveda.
Okay.
So like Ayurveda.
Ayurveda.
So basically, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I became one during COVID, and went to school for a handful of years, quite frankly. And I did this because my kids had a lot of food allergies, and they were sick when they were young, and it didn't make sense to me how such young kids could have problem with food when food's been such a big part of my life. But what Ayurveda is it's science of medicine. So it's a sister science to yoga. You guys all know what yoga is. So basically it's preventative medicine. You all know what functional medicine is. You all know what holistic healing is. Like, we're much more familiar with this kind of thing. Ayurveda is the original functional healing. It's like the original science of how to live your life so that you prevent disease. So it's about certain foods that you eat. It's about things that you do with your mind. It's basically a way of living. So it's made, like when I was talking about alignment, so not only are certain foods really important for certain times of year, for certain people, for certain situations in life, but it's also about how you're utilizing your mind. And it has completely changed my life. And it's one of the greatest gifts I've ever been given. And it's sort of how I raise my kids. It's how all my coworkers know that, I do these certain things and I use these certain herbs. And, that's how if my kids get sick, I use Ayurvedic herbs. And it's the science from India. So it originated in India.
Wow.
And it's pretty awesome. So look into it more.
Yeah.
I'd love to know just maybe for you personally, what one maybe food change or supplement change or herb change have you made in your life that you have said, man, that has made a huge difference for me? And it might not be cookie cutter for everyone.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a cookie cutter for everyone.
Okay, please
and
do.
This is hard for a New Englander, especially.
Coffee?
Well, coffee is that you get there.
Don't go there. Don't cut me.
Get there eventually. I got there. It's been 5 years, no coffee. But I will say you don't have to do that.
Okay.
They're fine if you drink coffee when you use Ayurveda. If people would give up ice, it would make a huge difference in your digestion. And it's like when I take consults with friends, I don't do this professionally, but because I went to school for it, people want to know. Like, they want to know, like, how do I help my digestion? How do I help my metabolism? How do I lose weight? How do I gain weight? Whatever it may be. I always say, give up the ice. And I'm not going to go into the details of it, but I will tell you girls later. But essentially, the idea is you are what you digest, okay? So if your body isn't digesting effectively, efficiently, and daily, then there's something wrong with what's happening in your body. And what you want to do is create the most ease you can within your digestive tract. And basically what ice does is it takes all the food that you eat in a given day and it sticks it to the walls of your intestine, which makes for not so easy digestion. So when it's warm, like if you think of a pan, if you're scrubbing a pan in your kitchen, and you put on cold water, the stuff in the pan is gonna stick to the pan, right? But if you put on warm water, that stuff comes off so much more easily.
It's a really
warm water will help fix your digestion.
Wow. I wish I had you years ago to teach me all these things. That is incredible. But so no ice and the NOBULL leggings. So it's no ice, but get the NOBULL leggings. That's amazing. Well, Jenny, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and we hope that you enjoyed the NOBULL influencer event tonight. had so much fun being here.
Guys,
and excited to see where the rest of the Meet Boston episodes go.
Yes, awesome. Thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for tuning in to NESN's coverage of the Meet Boston NOBULL influencer event. It was so awesome to be here at the NOBULL headquarters. I learned so much. Probably want to run a marathon or two now after that. Get the NOBULL leggings that Jenny Johnson talks about. Annabelle Hasselbeck, Natalie Nori, thanks so much for tuning in.